Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first installment of Ask Casey. That's me. For those of you that don't know me, I live in a small apartment in Jersey City with my boyfriend Ryan. I've lived in New York City in tons of apartments for 6 years, truly lots of apartments. And so I've redone a lot of spaces. I've shared a lot of home decor on Instagram and TikTok and also on here. I put a little pop-up box over on my Instagram and I just did like an Ask Casey, Ask Me Anything home decor related. And I got a few repeat questions. And so I'm thinking of doing a video series where I kind of answer the questions that I got the most of. And one of my most asked questions just always is, where is all the art in your apartment from? And then kind of paired with that, do you have any spots or any advice where I could buy affordable art? So I'm going to take you on a little tour of all of the art that we have up currently in our apartment. And I'm also going to show you some other, like take them out from our little storage that we have, and show you other pieces that may not be up on our walls right now, but that just mean a lot to me and that will go up in our future home should we hopefully have more wall space. And then I will come back and kind of give my tips on places where I think you could buy affordable art and just tips on art in your home in general. So let's get into it. Okay, so if we come into our bedroom, we have one of my all-time favorite pieces, which is this Le Voyage de Bavard print. I actually got this from a seller that I met at the Chelsea flea market here in New York City. I connected with her, I followed with her on Instagram, and then I saw that she had listed this and I messaged her almost immediately. I feel like Bavard is really nostalgic for me. I loved that it was a large piece. This was one of my first like large art pieces, and it came framed in this like really sturdy metal frame. She gave me a big discount for it and she even delivered it to my door, which was so incredibly sweet of her. Unfortunately, she doesn't do the secondhand selling on Instagram anymore. I would tag her below, but I think that meeting artists and meeting, you know, secondhand vendors at markets or anything like that is such a great way to connect and find really unique art pieces. Behind our Monstera that we're shocked but so excited that it's grown so much, I have this little number. I love this art piece. I believe I found the artist on Instagram and then I found that she had an Etsy page, so I ordered it from there. I just think it's so cute and simple. The frame that it's in, I actually got at the Dumbo flea market in Brooklyn, and the seller actually gave me this frame. She did 3 of the very similar frames for $6, which was such a great price. And that's such a great tip to also find frames secondhand and then put your own art inside of it. On our shelf, we have a lot of Ryan's like Legos and books and stuff like that. We do have this frame over here. The frame itself is from Flying Tiger, which I'm so sad they don't have those in New York City anymore, but the postcard is from Italy, from my solo trip to Italy. I think that's also such a great tip for affordable art, is just grabbing some postcards that you like and putting them inside of frames. Moving on to my desk, this is where I wanted to have a bunch of pieces that really make me smile because I spend a lot of time sitting here. Over here, I have a really cute birthday card that I framed from Ryan. Ryan's a graphic designer and he makes me the cutest cards for like every occasion. This one says happy birthday little flower and it's me with my little glasses. I love it so much. I keep all of his cards and I rotate which ones I have on display. Up here, I always get questions on this one. When Harry Met Sally is my all-time favorite rom-com, movie, anything. This is actually the vinyl record from the movie and I framed it. It was a really cheap frame and this was just, again, another easy tip to frame your records. I'm gonna zoom in on this one so you can see the detail of it because I love it so much. This is from an artist. Her handle is Nachi Art, and I got this at a little pop-up in our old neighborhood in Brooklyn Heights. I got to meet her. She was so sweet. She was having a deal of like 3 of these for $20, so my roommates and I all split them. She had a lot of New York themed art and other just really pretty, just detailed, beautiful artwork, so I highly recommend checking her out on Instagram. Up here we have 2 of my all-time favorite pieces. I just love how little they are. I personally love cherries and I love olives, so I just think this is so fitting. I found these 2, they came with the little frames, and I found this artist through a company that I had seen post like a campaign, and so I followed her. Her name's Anastasia Inciardi, I think it is. But she herself is like really sweet. I've connected with her on Instagram before, and I love her stuff. I have a couple other things in our kitchen as well. And then over here, this little Brooklyn pigeon was a gift from my old roommate Marcella that she got at a Christmas market here in New York. So moving on to our living room, we have this piece, and this was, I'm gonna do another video on this, but I got a lot of questions on living with a significant other and merging
our lives.
and merging our lives and your tastes and design all into one space. So this was a piece that Ryan really, really wanted to have up in the apartment. It was a priority piece for him. We talked about priority pieces that we had when we first moved in. Mine was the Babad one that you guys had already seen, but it's actually a bandana, and he had it framed at Framebridge. I remember when we went to go pick it up, we were shocked at how incredibly huge it was, and I wasn't sure if we would be able to make it work in the apartment, but I actually think that it fits so well in our living room. I love it, and I think it just really brings the space together.
Is it rolling? Are you rolling?
It's rolling. Where's it from?
Oh, okay. It's from a type foundry called Oh No Type Co. James Edmondson runs it, and it was for a font release in 2020. And yeah, it's a nerdy graphic design thing.
And we love it. But it's your personality. And here it is. Yeah. In our living room too, we have this little shelf up here. So we've got my puffer jacket Snoopy up there. This is like a metal sign that Ryan found at a flea market. His last name is Peter, so we just thought it was so cute. He had that even before I moved in. This like temperature clock compass situation was from Facebook Marketplace. I think I got it for $5. There's lots of great art on Facebook Marketplace. And then this little New Yorker framed piece over here is from Housing Works, the location in Brooklyn, and I love Housing Works. I feel like they have such great art for great prices too. These are always like lopsided, but I love them. They're heirloom tomatoes from the same artist that did the cherry and the olive. I love the color and like the stamp aspect of it, and these are in 2 IKEA frames with the mat on them. And then this in our kitchen is the latest addition that we've had to art in our home. It says join the club on the toothpick, and it's just a giant turkey club. Ryan and I got this at, surprise, a Christmas holiday market, but this one was actually in Jersey. And we just really loved the artist. Ryan talked to him about like design and all of that, and I just think it's such a fun piece to have in the kitchen. And then in our bathroom, we have this Astrid Wilson print that I love so much. It says Flower Market Havana. My family is Cuban, so I just thought this was so perfect. And this one I also got framed at Framebridge. This is probably my favorite like frame color that Framebridge has. It's like a dark wood, and I just think it accents the yellow so nicely. Okay, and then behind this mirror is where I keep a bunch of our like extra art pieces that don't fit on our walls. These two I love so much. This one I have gotten so many questions on through the years, and rightfully so. I love it so very much. So this is actually a tea towel that I had framed. My aunt growing up had the exact one in her like office, and I was obsessed with it. And when I got older, when I moved to New York, my mom and I actually found the exact same tea towel on eBay using like just Google search, but we were able to find it on eBay and we ordered it. I had this framed at Michael's, like professionally framed, and I did like a metal black frame, and I used one of the like Michael's coupons on it, so I think it came out to about $100 to frame it. But this is a piece, this is one of my like forever pieces. Like I know that it'll be in my home forever. And then this one, Livin' La Vida Brooklyn. This was something that my mom got for me when I first moved to Brooklyn. She saw it at like a Christmas market that we went to together, and she was like, you need this for your apartment. It is another tea towel, and this one I got professionally framed with Framebridge. I did a partnership with them like a couple of years ago, and they were so incredible. I love how it turned out. I went with like a light wood, and it just looks so nice. I love these two pieces so much, and they're probably my my two favorites aside from the Bavad one. So it actually does make me really sad that I don't have them up on the walls, but I will find a place for them. And if not in this apartment, then definitely in our next home and in our future homes. I love them. Okay, so that's all of the art in our space. That's all of the art that I have personally been collecting for years since I moved to New York City, and all of those pieces really make me happy for different reasons, and I just love having them up in my home. My biggest tip, I say it all of the time. If you've been here for a while, you're probably sick of hearing me say it, but my biggest tip with home decor is that instead of leaning into trends, instead of buying something because someone else has it or because it looks beautiful in their home, buy stuff that you love. I've bought things before that are like trendy, and I feel like after a year of having them, I'm done with them. If you're actually buying things that you love that really just bring that joy to you, you're gonna have them for a long time. And even if you're spending 20 bucks on a piece of art, on a print, that's still an investment. That's still that's still 20 bucks that could last you for a really long time with something that brings you a lot of joy in your home. Okay, so I talked a little bit about this while I was walking around, but I'd say that one of the best resources for you to find art for your space are flea markets and thrift stores. And not even art, like sometimes you'll find really great art, but the frames themselves. Like if you go to Goodwill, you can easily pop out some art and just use the frame yourself. You can find an artist that you love on Etsy, on Instagram, buy one of their like digital prints and even print it out yourself at FedEx for $3 and then put it inside of one of those frames that you thrifted. And that way it doesn't look so cookie cutter inside of an IKEA frame, although I love my IKEA frames, but it also just kind of makes it look different. It makes it look like a unique piece in your home. Now, if you're looking to elevate the look of your art in your home even a little bit more, a smidge, if you've graduated as I have since starting out in my tiny studio, something that I love to do is to just get those pieces that have a lot of meaning professionally framed. It's a super easy experience. You can try on the different frames, which it's just fun even if you don't get anything framed. I think just trying all of the different frames and seeing the different colors of things is so much fun. And I really do think it just makes that difference. It adds that spice. So even if you just end up getting like your one favorite thing framed, I think it'll just bring you that much more joy. Another thing I like to look out for is using a mat on your art. When I first started framing art, I would just have it fill up the entire frame. And I noticed with time that when you actually have like a white border matting, it just looks a little bit more clean. It looks a little bit more elevated, and it looks like this is the art piece, you know? So even if you're, like I said, looking for frames at IKEA, don't throw away that border, actually use it. Another tip for affordable art that I did a lot in my first apartment is that I would go to a local paper store. Paper Stores has a ton of these, and they sell just very large sheets of paper that have really cute patterns on them. You can get some with plants, you can get some with candy, you can get some with whatever, again, brings you joy. They have tons of options, and they're the perfect size to just frame on their own, and they're pretty large. So like I said, in small spaces, don't be afraid of using large pieces, and I think that these large affordable pieces make a huge difference in your space. Another affordable art tip that I talked about in my tour as well are tea towels. Do not sleep on tea towels. I feel like tea towels are such an easy way to find a cute design that, again, feels a little more elevated. How many times will I say elevated in this video? But it feels a little more elevated because it has texture. Tea towels tend to have texture, they tend to have different patterns, and so when you frame something like that, it kind of just draws the eye, in my opinion. So I love finding really cute tea towels. I feel like you can find so many at little artist markets and stuff like that. I feel like I'm really lucky that I live in Jersey City and really close to New York City as well. So finding these like pop-up flea markets is really easy for me. But even if you're not near some pop-up flea markets, again, you can find some on Etsy, you can find some online, you can even find some just at local stores near you. With the tea towels, I do recommend getting them professionally framed, which I guess, makes them a little bit out of budget, but it's totally doable to put them in your own frame yourself. You just want to make sure that they're very secure, and even kind of like pin them in the back or like tape them down so that it stays secure. Another really easy thing to frame, especially if you're someone that loves to travel, are postcards. I got a ton of postcards on my solo trip to Italy that I put in these fun little frames from IKEA, and instead of just being like some random art pieces that I put up in my apartment, they actually have meaning to me. I personally love every piece of art in my home to tell a story, as cheesy as that sounds. I love when people, come over and see something and they're like, oh, I love that. I have a story for them of where I got it and how I got it. And even when I look at it myself, I have a story for myself of where I got it. And it just makes the collection so much more special to me. And it makes my home so much more special to me. So hopefully these tips were helpful and you enjoyed the art tour. If you're starting your first art collection, I'd say don't be overwhelmed. Like I said, it has taken me years to build this collection. And I think that having the patience and taking the time to find those pieces that you really love is really just so worth it in the end. So take your time, really think about if you love something before you get it. If you have any other home decor or just general questions, make sure that you're following me over on Instagram. And if you liked this video and want to see the rest of the series, make sure that you subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.